So we're going to work with a hook and eye now. We're going to learn to sew that on. So the hook and eye has two pieces. It has the hook and it has the eye. So when they fasten, they actually hook into each other and it pulls against each other to pull tight on that. So we are going to sew those on. To do that, we need our interfacing piece 35 and our closures piece 32. The first thing you're going to do is apply the interfacing to the fabric. To apply the interfacing, we have our interfacing 35, our closures 32. We are going to turn our fabric wrong side up. And we're going to apply the interfacing to the fabric. Remember, the bumpy side goes towards the fabric. And we're going to line it up on the edge because we only need interfacing on half of our fabric. Okay. So lay those down. We're going to apply the interfacing. And then we're going to fold those in half. Okay, so we're going to sew on the hook and eye. So we need to thread our needle and we need to create a double thread. So remember, you pull the two ends of the thread equal and tie a knot. You can wrap it around your finger and bring it back through that loop and create a knot at the end. Then slide your needle down so that you have a double thread. All right, so the first one we're going to do is we're going to sew on the eye. So we're going to place our eye at the edge of our fabric. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew these two edges here where the loops are. So we're going to start from the bottom and we're going to come up through the loop and we're going to go back down. We're going to come up and go back down. And up, go back down. And we're going to do that about 3 or 4 times to hold that good and tight there. Okay, now we need to move from this loop to the other loop. So from the underneath, we're going to come up in the other loop and we're going to stitch that down 3 or 4 times. Okay, once you've stitched that, then we're ready to tie off our threads. So we're going to turn it over. We're going to go through our threads. We're going to make a loop. We're going to bring our needle through that loop and pull it tight. And we're going to do that again. Once you've done that, then you can cut your threads. Then you'll want to tie your needle off again because we'll need a double needle to sew the hook part. All right. So we have our eye. So to line it up properly, we're going to put our hook together. And with the hook part is going to go down. The flat part is what's going to lay against the fabric. We're going to slide our fabric, our other piece, over so that it covers our eye because we don't want to see any of the hook and eye with the fabric closed. Okay, then we can flip it over so that we can see our hook. We'll make sure our hook is pulled tight and hold that in place. Now we're going to work from the back side. wrong side of the fabric, but we don't want any of our stitches to see on the front side. So we're going to start on top and we're going to go through the bottom layer of fabric and through the hook. But we want to make sure that we don't see any stitches on the right side of the fabric. So we're going to do that about 3 or 4 times. Okay. All right, now we need to move over to the other loop. So we're going to go underneath that layer of fabric so that we don't see the stitches. And then we're going to come up in that hole. And then we're going to do that about 3 times, 3 or 4 times, stitching around the loop. All right, now we're going to unhook it, and we need to do one more thing on this side. So we need to actually attach this end of the hook, because if we don't, it's just going to flap up and down as we wear it. So we are going to go from the loop underneath that layer of fabric with our needle. So our needle's going between the 2 layers of fabric. It's going to come up at the other end by the actual hook. Okay, so we came up here. We're going to go around the hook, and then we're going to come back down through the fabric, but we want to go so that we don't see it on the top, so just through the one layer. Okay. Then we're going to go around the hook again. Through that layer of fabric. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Then we're ready to tie off our hook and eye. So we're going to go through our threads. We're going to make a loop. We're going to bring our needle through that loop, pull it tight, and we're going to do that again. Then you can cut your threads at this end, and you can cut your threads here. And then you should be able to hook your hook and eye, and you shouldn't see any stitches on the top side.